Mike's scared we gonna get sued. Get it off your chest, man. Start the podcast that way.
Hey, man.
Get it off your chest.
You want to be the Tasha K of pod, so let's go.
Nah, we got
Let's go.
I don't want to be sued. You know what? I always say, what's that song y'all used to sing in church? Not sing in church. What about the young boys and the old heads? Young boys for something, old men. What's the thing? See, this is how you know I wasn't paying attention.
No, you weren't paying attention in
Come
church.
on, you know what the saying is. Young boys for war, old man for counsel. Ain't that it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you a pastor?
That's not in the Bible.
They used to say it. And they say a lot of stuff that wasn't in the Bible. Never mind. All right. We ain't got to talk about Diddy, but I do want to say, you got your headphones? Come on, man. Nope. You gotta. Nope. You gonna let me get my joke off if we still?
No, we can go. We can go through it. Hey, me and Gavin just got into it.
We ain't gonna talk about Diddy. However,
no.
Can you grab the headphones?
Yeah. Let's go.
Because they said this is how R. Kelly gonna welcome Diddy into jail. All right, so just so y'all know, if you was expecting us to talk about Diddy, that's the only joke I had. All I was gonna say is Diddy need to move, but we ain't even got to do it. You can't say that shit wasn't funny.
That shit is hilarious. You would let that. I might have would have let the Diddy thing pop off. Diddy definitely need to move.
Yeah, y'all said Russell Simmons had to move.
Yeah, he did.
Is he back though?
I don't know. It's unclear, man. It's unclear. I would concede that, you know, your emphasis on the music industry and Hollywood being, you know, weirdos. Like, I'll concede that.
A lot of creative people weirdos. We're gonna get to that Kanye West tank that I got in the mail.
I'll concede that as well. So, you know, but I think the thing is, because we, you know, as we got in a huge argument last night, we're all finding out this information at the same time, and I just don't want to be on the front end of wrong information. That's my only take. Like,
Ben and Ryan gonna hit me up and say that's wrong. Maybe not Ryan.
What?
Ryan always seems to agree with you on everything.
Hey, good going, Ryan. Good going.
He loses the arguments in our group chat every day, just like you.
Hey,
and
Ryan,
Baraka.
just add me to the group chat. That's all you got to do.
Oh hell no! I'm gonna leave that group chat so damn fast. All right, where's my thing? Here we go. Let's start the pot.
Black men do not fight hard enough to be a parent in their children's lives.
What are gunshots?
They don't. They do not.
Just a question. I am agreeing with you. But just a question though.
He's only agreeing.
Why is it
that they have to fight?
These men have to fight. The fact that they have to fight is one thing. The fact that they're not fighting enough is another thing. So both things are correct. So I'm agreeing with you. These men are not fighting enough for their child. That's the thing, right? But why is it that virtually every man has to fight to see their child?
Why are you complaining about a problem that you created for yourself? I don't want to hear it. You created that problem.
Yes.
So now you're like, oh, I have to fight my way out of my own problems. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we not all adults?
I agree.
Is life not always what we want it to be?
Yeah.
You'll leave her to fight for herself, but you're like, oh, I ain't gonna fight for my kid. Why I gotta fight for my kid? Over a problem that you created yourself. But we could have all just been like, you know what? I'm good on the kids. Let me wrap it up. Let me at least get married first. Let me at least try to do the right thing.
Before we get started, Mike has on New Jays and he got his muscles out.
It's because Gab don't have the window open here. It's actually
we do
sauna today.
I want the outdoor signs. My bad.
No, we good. No.
All right, let's get it. Here we go. I saw you in the comments. As soon as I clicked the video, Pastor Mike Will, I said, oh shit.
Yeah. No, you know, my whole thing is like, man, protect all spark. Because you know what? She's right? But they only give you this credit after they've messed up. But yeah, stop putting babies in these women, right? We are creating our own problems, right? She's right. You know, now that wasn't her point. Her point was to deflect from the conversation of why do men have to fight at all?
Facts.
That was the question. And then they do that little slick thing that they do. They create that straw man, right? Which is like, well, you should be responsible for whether or not you have the kid. Both of those arguments are arguments that men need to take control of. One, we are creating our own problems.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and start either snipping, checking the ovulation window, wrapping it up, right? Stop having babies with women that we have no intention of marrying.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the original point, like why are the dudes who are the happiest for being fathers, why are the dudes who are the best fathers in or out of the home, right? Why are the guys who are the most egalitarian, why are they having to fight for their children so hard, right? That's a legitimate question, and I think as black men, we just have a terrible press kit. Our press kit is just like it's the Pookie kit, right? Like this is what the average black guy is like, and the majority of black men are great fathers.
Look at this. See how far I got? Oh, I went to the whole episode, dog. I spent this morning listening to this episode.
How was it?
Interesting. I need you to do me a solid.
Yeah.
Read that title.
Are moms dating their own sons?
So, interesting.
A mom's dating their own sons. I can read faster than that. It was actually moving slow.
Yeah, it was moving slow. That was what her podcast episode was about.
Yeah.
Her podcast was designed to trash black women. She made it very clear.
Yeah.
On black women raising sons to step in for their husbands, their boyfriends, or their fathers. Yeah. That's what her entire episode was. This black man who got on there pointed out something to her very early in the podcast. He said, "You are using this time to shit on the fact that you date pookies and that y'all have to deal with dating pookies." I will say this. And they had a great conversation. Yeah. But when he said it early, I hate when people say, and it's not their fault, because when you get in a podcast, you will say something and you'll get off because you got the rest of the episode. He said it and it was so important, but he never comes back to it. And I'm 80% done with the episode, but he never goes back to, yo, you are complaining about pookies and that's such a small percentage of black men.
Yes.
But he kept just going through. Now, I would say this. I knew everything about kids before I had my own. I knew everything about raising a child, right? It's so funny that you can feel that way. This woman has no kids.
Yeah.
So she spends an hour discussing raising kids, whether she's talking down on black women, and that is a disguise. The episode was supposed to be about that. That's only like 10% of the episode. The rest of the episode is her shitting on black men.
Well, we already know that we are like the dump, bro.
Absolutely. And it's like when he got there, he explained that. And then he was like, yo, you dating pookies. That's your problem. And then he spends the rest of the episode defending black men to her. Yeah. Explaining that, yo, no, I'm a divorcee. I have kids. I don't discipline my kids. I create, what was his term? It was amazing. He said, I don't discipline my kids. But basically he was saying like, yo, I create environments for my kids where I explain to them what's going on. He was like, we as a black community don't understand what discipline is because we think it's whooping their ass. Yeah. He said we think it's spanking them and yelling at them. And he was like,
well, I think future generations of, especially like with black men, out of all the black men I know, I only know one family that actually physically discipline their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking about family. So I mean, now I don't know what the ladies do. We don't really talk about discipline per se. Yeah. But I mean, hell, I think most of the women I know are married too. So again, like my spear sometimes is a little bit different than what's projected on the internet. Yeah. But I think that whole like, spare the rod, spoil the child thing, right? I think we start understanding that in context. Like that's not meaning like, yo, beat your kids. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, facts. That wasn't what it meant. But, when you had people that was, coming out of an apartheid, being domestically terrorized for over 80 years, right? And then their grandparents were actually enslaved, right? Mm-hmm. They're also terrorized, right? You have a different type of raising that goes on versus when you have a free generation, right? Like I was born into a relatively free country. My parents was born into an apartheid, right? So I'm the first free generation, right? So I'm able to raise my child a lot differently than the way my parents was able to raise me. Facts. So anyway, back to that was Amita talk. I actually like her stuff. It'd be mad wrong, but I actually like listening to her pod. And that was on Mr. Let Go. that was actually a guest on her pod.
Yeah, it's not the worst episode. I just felt like I can tell when somebody is talking, especially because I was that person. I remember my sister used to roll her eyes so hard when I used to tell her how to raise her son.
Yeah, and you on.
And then as soon as mine came out, I go to her and I apologize.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this shit is wow.
Yeah.
This is the Wild West. Y'all really out here just surviving. She's like, yeah, I mean, that's what we doing out here. But so when I'm listening to her talk and she's like, no, kids like going to their dad's house because y'all don't discipline them. And he's like, no, I talk to my kids. I create control environments where we don't have to do too much discipline. But he's like, and he tells her, he said, I create a controlled environment that when you come to my house, you already know how to act. He said, if I have to discipline you, it's because you're blatantly defying me. And he explains to her, women, y'all be with the kids and they just run amok because they don't respect you. And then he wants to talk about why kids don't respect black women. And it was interesting because he talked about his mom and how he had a great mom, but she used to let men come in and out.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, I had to grow up at 13. And he's like, and it's funny. He said, I never felt bad for my mom because she was a grown woman that made her own decisions that, finally I had to man the hell up and say, yo, I'm taking over. And she was like, so how did that work? And he said it worked out fine. But at 18, I was like, no, I'm done. I'm out. And he was like, now you got to figure it out because I gave you 5 years of taking care of your shit, like whatever.
And the energy is different as well between, like men and women. Like sometimes like that disrespect is if you're at a high trouble level every day, eventually it drones out. Facts. Most of the time when men raise their voice, it's to catch the kids' attention. And then typically the voice lowers back down.
Facts. Because
it's like, all right, now we're communicating. So because I think sometimes we're going to get to this, right? The physical strength of men.
Oh gosh.
Like I think sometimes that people underestimate, the difference in strength between, males and females. And I think as kids, because they're pure, they understand that difference. So my homegirl, they have a newborn, her and her husband. And she was like, she felt like she was sick. So he kept the baby all night. She's like, she ain't hear him cry once all night. Right. So she was like, I kind of felt away. And I was like, look, I said, one of the things you got to understand, I was like, as men, when we're dealing with newborn, we have to be extra gentle because we basically have more torque than what women have. Right. So I was like, when you pick a kid up fast, you not really going to hurt the kid. I said, if a man comes in there and picks up a kid fast, he could pull an arm out of the socket. Yeah. Just our torque is different. So I was like, most of the time when men deal with babies or little kids, we're actually extra gentle. Whereas the women are just they mom and they nurturing, right? I got to clean your nose, right? Dad is coming over there and he's like, I'm being extra gentle with you because God forbid
something happens.
Something happens.
So rap.
It's a wrap.
DSS gonna be over here. We all cook.
Yeah, we all cook. So it's like I think sometimes that ladies forget that too when it comes to dad parenting. That like, yo, it's not that we're like just nicer on the kid. It's God forbid something happens to this child in my care.
Yeah, and then the other thing, and I said this before we dip from that topic. It is amazing how women uniquely find ways not to shit on other black women because all of her complaints throughout this entire episode is about the product of being raised by a single black woman. Yeah. And good or bad, whatever she said good. And whatever she said bad, it was
that's what it was about. The dude is not there.
And because she couldn't single out black women and say, hey, y'all are raising pookies. Because she couldn't, she took a small percentage of men and blamed black men for it, which was just amazing take. But like you said, our PR kid is trash.
PR kid is trash. And we're trying to make it better on here.
We're trying to. I want to welcome everybody to episode 130. 130, we are moving. Ryan and Ben said,
goodness,
they heard the episode last week. They said, hey, you might have to go to 3, even though we told y'all 2 last week. I said, yo, we got to be making so much money for Mike was just going to quit.
Yeah. I got it. I mean, I think we're going to get there. I think we eventually going to make it to 2. Hey, big ups to everybody that's listening, liking, comments. Hey, we read everything, the good and the bad. So, like, sometimes we respond to the bad more than we respond to the good. But to the people that leave the encouraging comments, like, yo, we appreciate y'all so much. Big ups to the brother in Amsterdam that's listening. One of my favorite cities in the world. So big ups to you. Appreciate all y'all.
Why you don't never take me nowhere?
Man, because y'all boys married.
I know how to behave.
All right. Announcements.
I do know how to behave. You know what I'm saying? Yo, before we get started, congratulations to Ryan. I know I did it halfway last week. Ryan just got engaged. Hold on. Which one is it?
Beautiful pics, by the way.
Beautiful
Did
pictures.
you take those?
Nah, they went to Cancun. He wouldn't fly me out, man. He said,
gotta fly Gavin out if you want to take pictures.
Absolutely. But, you know, I'm super happy for him. Him and Ann, they have a beautiful daughter who is smart as hell. The only kid who ain't in daycare, but she know how to count to like 50. I don't get it. Yeah, she a smart little girl. She's mad cool too. But it's funny to see them, watch them grow. I came in at their baby was clearly here. I know them from swim class. But yeah, you know, he loves Mike out of us too. He think Mike is always right.
Appreciate you, man.
That's because he from the sticks of North Carolina. You from the sticks of South Carolina.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, the country boys, like, we be on it, man.
Gosh.
We be on it because we look at both sides. We laid back. We don't really run into anything. That'd be half of me and Gavin arguing because Gavin be ready to run into some shit, and I'd be like, "Whoa!"
Hey man, I'm gonna play that. Play that introduction from Robert again. That shit hilarious.
That is
I might
hilarious.
put that on.
Send that to me. Actually, send that to me. That is actually hilarious. I need to find a place for that
in life.
Yeah, in life, I need to find a place.
If you want to ask a dad segment, it is blackdadsclub@gmail.com. We just posted a phone number online. I had one girl who just wrote and said, I got 100 questions for y'all. Don't know if we want all 100, at least not at once, but yeah, you know what? Send them all to us at once and we'll just change your name. If you need to know the phone number, it's 803-216-5598.
803 in the building.
803. What's the difference between 803 and 843? What part of the state is
843 is low country. 803 is the Midlands. The Metro, baby.
Soda City. Y'all don't go by that, right?
No, we go by the Metro.
Oh, I was just saying Soda City.
Metro.
I'll be in Columbia this weekend, man, for a baby shower. Shout out to the baby shower. I'll be there. Dad tip of the week. I really don't have one. I would say this. Buy Huggies. The diapers are the same price as Pampers, but they stretch bigger.
Yeah.
So
Huggies are good.
Yeah.
I got a dad tip of the week. If you with your kids at 7-on-7, do not take on the 6'6", 250-pound former athlete.
That was the stupidest thing ever. I think part of me was glad that it wasn't a child because the way Cam was manhandling.
Dude, how about when we first saw this, the way he handled them, we instantly assumed it was kids.
Bro. I think I wrote, I was like, yo, what is Cam doing? Because I'm thinking it's a child.
Yeah, you thinking the children that he's decleating.
Yeah, I'm like, at least he's not punching.
Yeah.
I'm like, at least he ain't punching the kid.
These
but
are
he
grown men that Cam is tossing. You know, he's not even tossing around. He's just like managing them.
Moving.
Like just moving people around the chessboard. Like, all right, you're doing too much. You need to go over here right now. Okay, you're doing too much. Hold on. You sit right there.
Oh, give me one of your dreads and I'm going to move your whole body.
I'm going to move your whole body. That's actually a good fighting technique to be able to fight somebody. Head goes where the hair go. So, which means that Cam actually knows how to move people around. But
Mike, he kept his hat on.
Dude, he didn't. Dude, when somebody had broken down in slow mo and they were showing the dude's feet being off the ground, Cam is decleating dudes. He has two dudes' feet off the ground while he's moving people around, and he is one guy. And at any given time, there's 3 to 4 people on him, and none of y'all can get him on the ground.
Bro, when the dude in the white shirt came up and punched, and Cam didn't move, but Cam just looks at him like, "What are you?
What are you doing? Like, are y'all really trying to make me fight y'all? Like, I'm trying to just move y'all around. Bro. Are y'all really trying to get in a fight? Cam was not in a fight. They were in a fight.
They were in a fight. Cam was just like, "What are we doing?" I'm gonna put it like this: when I worked at the Ritz-Carlton, when did the Panthers win the Super Bowl? 2014. So
15.
15. So I think
didn't win.
I was gone by then.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was gone. But before then, definitely when him and Steve Smith played together, I was working at the Ritz. And I remember we had a CIAA party and Cam Newton came in and I looked up like, oh shit, this is huge. Bro, we talking about without pads on. He's still stocky, like he built.
Dude, these are superhuman humans. Like, you know, I think we had a podcast where we talked about Draymond, and I was like, yo, whatever we saying right now, if Draymond walked in, I am going to tell him I don't want no smoke, right?
Yeah, facts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, these guys are superhuman. And this is like this is how strong these guys are. I learned in the high school. We ended up having the number 1 tight end in the country in my high school. And I was in the weight class at the end of the day with them. I didn't play football my junior, senior year, but I still worked out with him. This guy was 2 years behind me. And he ended up being the number 1 tight end in the country. He ended up going to South Carolina. And I remember we had a class, right? So, and like I was one of the strongest guys in weight class, right? So like we were all on the wrestling mat, and I ran up to this dude. And I mean, I went into him like all my speed, all my might, because I was going to scoop him up off his feet. I ran into the dude, bam. He did not move. And I was like, oh shit, right? Like this boy is big. He's massive. Matter of fact, his little brother ended up playing quarterback for in the league for a while. Ended up starting for a few teams. That was his little brother. So it's like, dudes don't understand how strong these guys. Shit, I got a better story. I was dating a girl, and her roommate was dating a football player. He was a defensive tackle here in Charlotte. One of the biggest named defensive tackles. I ain't gonna say who it is. Anyway,
nigga might have been married.
She had exactly. She had this chase in her room that she was moving.
Yeah.
So it was like this huge wooden chase, beautiful wooden chase. You can tell it was expensive as hell, like which she should not have had as a college student, right? But she's like, I was like, okay. So she was like, hey, I need to move this chase because she was moving out. She was like, my friend is coming over. Can you help her move it?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, bet, right? Because I'm still strong. I'm in my 20s at this time, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I go in there and like I look at the chase and I like try to pick it up to see like how heavy it is. Dude, this shit had to be like 600 pounds. Like, so I think I barely got it an inch off the ground. And I was like, yo, I said, it's gonna take more than one person for us to move this. She was just like, no, he's coming over. He can help you pick it. I was like, sis, I like this chase is huge. I was like, I'm not a weak guy.
Yeah.
I could barely get it off the ground. It's gonna take more than one guy.
Then your homeboy.
The homeboy to come and move this chase. She was like, no, you're gonna be fine. So dude comes over and he walks in the door and I'm just like, oh shit, it's XYZ, right?
It's Gavin.
Dude, he picks it up.
Hell no.
Puts it on his back.
Nah.
And my job was to make sure that the edges did not hit the wall to knock the pan. That was my job, bro. And at that point, I was like, yo, these NFL dudes are a whole nother type of humans.
Bro, I remember we was at the job and Thomas Davis stops me. He's like, hey, man, I'm at this banquet. I don't want to be here. And I'm looking at him like, yo, I watch you every Sunday. Yeah. And he's only like 5'9", 5'10". And I'm that height, right? Yeah. So we looking eye to eye. But of course, I'm 155 and, you know, this nigga.
Yeah, 230. Like, they superhuman.
His probably 155. And then he looked, and I looked at his plate, and he was complaining about the food because he wanted more. And I'm like, yo, I get full off of that. And I remember, like, because it's a banquet, but you getting, you know, they giving you a vegetable, they giving you protein, they giving you starches, you getting bread, all this. And he's like, he looks at me, he goes, yo, I'm a big guy. And I think he kind of like put his hand on my shoulder, let me know, like, bro, can you please just give me more food? Yeah. And we gonna get it to him. And I remember going to my boss and I was like, yo, Thomas Davis just said he's still hungry. And he looked at me, he just bust out laughing. He was like, we would have a Pro Bowler in here eating only like 3 pieces of chicken breast. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? But anyway, let's get to this part. Who do you feel bad for the most in this situation? Because for me, or who, like, or not even that, but more disappointed in. You know, because there is a other side to this.
There is, but I think the internet has reduced, like, it's made athletes so accessible that we think that they're normal people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And they're not normal people. Mm-hmm. You know, like those 4 guys, like, y'all gotta hope Cam Newton isn't mad.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many other ramifications that can come from that. And I think the real loser is, you know, the kids, if Cam decides that he doesn't want to come out anymore to 707, because how cool is it to come out on 707 and you know you get to perform in front of Cam Newton?
Absolutely.
So I think the biggest loser is the kids. I think the second loser is Cam, because like, yo, this dude he couldn't throw a punch.
You said something that was amazing in the group chat. You said the guys are lucky Cam didn't throw them over that rail. Yeah. And I didn't even think about that part, right? Like, cause you're right.
He was just tossing around like he easily could have just said, you know what, 1, 2, 3, 4, all y'all over the rail,
and I'm leaving.
And I'm leaving.
And it was amazing. I do feel bad for the kids because of resources, but also it's like, yo, damn, if you playing at a 707, like it does get to this point of, all right, especially in a kid and you're impressionable, and let's say father there or not, you might start thinking like, yo, this is how we can behave at sporting events, right?
Yeah.
And that's a tough part to see. The other thing is, I was listening to The Pivot this morning and they were talking about it. And, one of the number one things they talked about is like, being an athlete, people come up and they just assume you sweet.
Yeah.
And whatever they may look like.
I gotta put it in my notes to watch The Pivot.
Yeah. And they were talking about how people, testosterone get built up and they don't know that, as an athlete, I've been talking trash with the best of them for my whole life.
Yeah. So
when an athlete, and they were saying like, damn, sometimes these parents, they get offended because it's like, yo, I am the millionaire. I am the dad who made it to the league, who was the MVP, who did play in the Super Bowl, and you just the Pop Warner dad.
Yeah.
And we talking trash, and you got to go home with that in front of your kids. It was super interesting, man. I might want to talk about Killer Mike. Hold on, let me just for reference, even though we're not gonna go back to it, man. Hold on, where my video at, man? Because what y'all not gonna do is take away my joy because we can't talk about a certain guy. Hold on, y'all, because it's just as funny the second time.
Hey man, get your ass Indonesia, bro. Get your ass Indonesia.
Yo, whoever wrote that tweet and said this is how R. Kelly gonna sing the Diddy coming in, that you are amazing.
Hey man, the internet is hilarious, man. It's like the Cam New meme. If I say you this, I don't need no help,
bro. My man kept his hat on, bro.
Bro, he never left his feet, bro. You a tossing dudes. We thought they were kids.
I will say this. Let me tell you what pissed me off. I did not like. I don't like the radio station interviewing the two dudes. They did an interview, bro. Today it dropped today. I send it to you, and I
think I added in the show notes. I saw a clip of it.
Yeah, that pissed me off. I mean, I guess like you do want to get clicks. A radio station, it is beneficial for both parties, right? And it's all about clout. Cool, but I just looked at it and said, "Damn, y'all getting on to say, yo, we been trash talking." It's a football event. A
kids football event though. Let's be clear.
Absolutely.
Like it's not their 707.
It's not.
It's the kids 707.
It's like, dude, y'all doing an interview, and then the one dude was like, and I get the one dude, I ain't gonna be mad. I saw my brother getting into it, and him and Cam was putting their hands on each other, so I ran up, and it's like, damn, bro, see what happened?
I love my brother more than anything. Like I almost had to run a mission on behalf of my brother, bro.
Shout out to him.
If I see my brother and Cam getting into it, I'm grabbing my brother. I'm not grabbing Cam.
Absolutely.
Like, yo, chill out, bro. What happened?
What happened?
Let's talk.
Ez, I got you.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's figure out what happened, man. Like, we cannot let this guy embarrass us like this.
Man, I'm fighting for Ez, man. That's my guy, man.
Hey, we'll fight if we're not gonna fight. We'll take care of it if we have to.
Only problem I got with your brother, he didn't call me back last week.
Yeah, that boy busy, man.
He stayed busy. All right, here we go.
A person who has an incentive to marry and a person who becomes a taxpayer and not just a taker of tax.
Hold on, let's start it over because y'all know.
Pregnant as a teenager, young man and woman get pregnant. This is the 2-year plan. First 2 years are debt free. You don't have to pay the government anything back. So she doesn't get to drag him in the court and the court doesn't say you owe us money for investing in your child through food programs, through early Head Start programs. Because in those 2 years, the boy has the option, or not even the option, he has the demand of the co-man to then go to a trade school. You have to go to a trade school, which incentivizes the United States to do it because we need more tradespeople. We don't have enough carpenters, we don't have enough electricians, we don't have enough people building roads. In my community, the girls are going to college and graduating. They have no men to marry because the boys are not going to college in the same way. My teachers were married to a tradesman. My teacher, who we call doctor, her husband owned a locksmith company. Her husband was a carpenter, was a mechanic. So they had a good life. Their kids went to school, right, the same schools we went to. I think that the incentive to solving the child support problem and a part of solving our infrastructure problem is to incentivize young boys who have gotten a girl pregnant. You must now go through 2 years of trade school.
So the reason why I put that in there is I think this is a good example of why entertainers should not make policy. like that was my first thing. It's like, you know, like we cannot say like, hey, make a kid out of wedlock, because the individuals that he's referring to are the same people that Amita was referring to, the Pookies.
Absolutely.
And the Pookies don't have enough discipline to not make babies out of wedlock over and over again. They're not going to go to trade school for 2 years.
They need to, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So what we're gonna do? Are we gonna need to? Because the only thing that's gonna happen is it's gonna be just like child support, right? Like if you don't pay child support, you go to jail, right? As a man, not as a woman. As a man, if you don't pay child support, you're going to jail. It's gonna be the same thing. If you don't go to trade school, you don't pass trade school.
That is what will happen. You're right about that. I didn't think about that.
You're gonna go to jail, right? Second thing is gonna happen is they're gonna cap wages, right? Because they're gonna have all this free labor that's coming in, all this extra labor that's coming in welding, in HVAC, in whatever it is, right? So instead of you making the 27 that you should have made to start, it's gonna be 17, right? This is why entertainers should not make policy, because they don't think anything through. They just come in and they say, hey, this is a good idea. And Massa, what do you think about this idea? And then Massa say, you know what? It's a good idea, man. You know, Mr. Rapper, that's a good idea. Let's make policy because we're about to pimp the fuck out of y'all. Like that's every single time, man. Like that gets on my nerve. By the way, this is somebody that I like. I am very, very objectional. This is somebody I actually like.
Because he in the Dungeon Family clique.
Yeah, probably.
We gonna get that too.
Probably.
We gonna get there. And y'all pissed me off last week. Y'all made a video that had 2,000 views, go 6 times platinum damn in my book, and it cussed me out for 20 days straight. I do. So you know what? I do remember 2 boys in particular. They were the first 2 guys who I knew had kids, right? Right now, one of those people has full custody of his son, sole custody, excuse me. Let me be clear. His baby mom ain't shit. She just fell off the wagon, you know. Yeah. She found I don't know if she found never mind. I would tell y'all they're kidding me, but that's a whole nother subject. Can't even do that.
Yeah, can't even do that.
But a matter of fact, I will say this. My cousin, he has sole custody of his kids. Yeah. Like, it is what it is. He got 2 boys. He take care of them. And it was beautiful because my cousin graduated high school. He was working with my dad. My dad's teaching him trades. You know, my parents had a cleaning business, but my dad's teaching him about flooring and all this other stuff, right? And I ran into my cousin because I remember he was like, y'all need more consistent work. So he started working for a moving company. So I saw him. I see him every like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But I ran into him at the gas station. He's like, yo, I'm a project manager now at my company. Yeah. And I just I could have cried because I know him, whether that was having educational and learning disability problems in high school, to say, yo, something that he got a job simply because I just had a child young. I got to figure this shit out. And now he's like, no, I'm a project manager at this company. I could have literally cried at the gas station, right? And I got to call you, bro, because I needed you for something. Yeah. Anyway, and the other guy, no, I won't say his name, but he's married to his wife. They have a bunch of kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I remember those 2 guys both had similar stories in school. They both actually attended the same school that, you know, once you're not acting right in school, the behavior schools, they both went there. Surprisingly, they both the same age. Both of them are full-time fathers today. And they both make great money because they work hard and everything. And I just remember when they got their girls pregnant, it was a, damn, what are they going to do? Now they figured it out. So I get what Killer Mike is trying to get to. Is like, yo, we do have these young boys at 17, at 18, and they're men at that point. I do want to do better at that. Stop calling y'all boys. Yeah. See, Mike is rubbing off. I'm being nicer. But I do know that when we are young, it is tough because I know I'm going to college at 18, and I'm looking at them and it's like, but that's not because they don't have a job ain't stopping them from fucking.
No. And I think that's the thing where I'm like, yo, we keep having these unrealistic expectations. And then we say, well, let's try to provide a remedy now to the symptom, right? Well, how about we prevent the symptoms?
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's get ahead of these young boys having kids out of wedlock, right? Ovulation windows, condoms, things of that nature, making sure that the people understand that, like, yo, we don't have to have young babies. And we have fixed that problem. When I was in high school, teenage pregnancy was on the rise. Yeah, y'all
was giving babies to kids in high school, like the little dolls, right?
Yeah. And then they fixed it, and then, you know, it went lower.
Why did they stop doing that?
Stop doing what?
Giving the babies to the girls.
Well, I mean, the rates started dropping. Like the rates was going up between the 80s and the 90s. Like, I'll say as a teenager, like that was kind of my thing. It's like, damn, am I gonna be a teenage dad? Like that was something that men was terrified of. And here's the thing: no one ever said to us, like, yo, like women don't ovulate every day. You do, right? No one, like, if someone just would have broke it down, we would have probably been okay. But we thinking like, yo, every time I have sex, I can have a baby.
Yo, man,
and it was like
through the collar.
Yeah, so it's like I wish, what Killer Mike is saying, it sounds good in principle, but this is why like think tanks need to have the psychologists, the sociologists, people that's in there that can actually create policy, because when the Killer Mikes create policies, it creates more problems. And I agree with him. I think black men would do way better in trade.
Yeah, and we'll play the kid clip right quick. He has always been a proponent of trade school.
Yeah, he had, but Killer Mike also, we about to torture you a little bit right here.
Come on, only Mike
can
because I like
go into the sun.
What do you
start?
So let me ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be?
A pediatrician.
A pediatrician. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going to be a scientist, and I'm trying to find the cure for cancer. And I'm going to make a rocket.
Gotcha.
That can go into the sun.
What are you going to be, me, bro?
A president, and I will make
You're going to be a president. Yes, Mason.
I forgot to tell you, I'm going to be a scientist, remember?
Yes.
And I'm going to make this potion that will make my whole family superheroes.
You owe your parents not to dream big. You owe it to your parents to dream practical and start making money as soon as you can. Like, you're not going to be able to be president. Do you guys know what a carpenter is?
Yes.
I do like how the young black boy gave the white boy the side eye when he said, I'm gonna make my parents superheroes.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the thing. I am pretty sure this is edited and clipped for me to be outraged.
Especially if I was a producer.
So I am not outraged, right?
Okay.
But those kids are probably about what, 9, 10 years old?
Yeah, and right now they're probably, because that came out in 2020.
Yeah.
So they're probably about,
they're older now.
They in high school now.
Yeah, they're in
probably.
high school now. So, so Killer Mike, the one boy that watched Barack Obama be president, he makes a comment. He's like, yo, I want to be president, right? Killer Mike is like, you need to be something more realistic. You need to be a carpenter, right? Whereas the little, white boy is saying that, like, hey, I want to create a cure for cancer. I want to
drive a rocket ship into the sun.
Yeah, and he might be getting this Elon Musk on, right? Because Elon Musk makes rocket ships and build cars, right? So, but here's the thing, right? When it came to the Black Boy Dreaming, Killer Mike's like, you need to choose something more realistic. When I was a young boy, there was no way you could have told my grandmother that there was going to be a black president, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s and the early 90s. Like,
bro, I remember telling my granddad, calling him, was like, you see, they saying Obama might run. I remember my granddad said,
yeah.
And I was just like, but then I had to remind myself, they put clan flyers on his house.
Yeah. He couldn't drink out of water fountains, right?
Absolutely.
So I mean, what did it say? A dream deferred is a dream denied, right? Mm-hmm. So the reason why that clip, I would have never played this clip if Killer Mike would not have made that speech at the Grammys. Right?
Let me play it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play that. I would have never, and again, we're talking about Killer Mike's policy and why athletes and entertainers should not be speaking on policy.
I rock with you, Killer Mike. I don't care what Mike says. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I rock with you. I rock with Outkast and everybody.
Now you rock with Outkast.
And the Grammy goes to scientists and engineers, Killer Mike.
I'll skip it here. This is too long. Skip it to
when you start talking.
Yeah. 48 second mark.
Right, here we go, man.
Much of your time. Hopefully I get to come back up here. I heard you guys clapping when they called my name, so I'm gonna take my shades off. I wanna say I'm from the Southeast. Like DJ Paul,
South got something to say.
I'm a black man in America, and as a kid, I had a dream to become a part of music.
Oh, he had a dream.
And that 9-year-old is excitedly dancing inside of me right now. I want to thank Loma Vista, Adam, Tom, Todd, Ryan, all of you guys. I want to thank my management company, my manager.
Come on, man. The 9-year-old inside of him is happy.
The 9-year-old inside of him is happy. And again, it is so hard. it's hard to push through when people don't believe in you. Like, it's easy to quit. I actually had a conversation with somebody that I care about a lot. They hit me up and was just like, hey, sometimes you say things that, I think you feel firmly about, and it makes me basically not like you. It makes me see you, as a chauvinist or whatever, right? And there's somebody that I actually respect and care about a lot. And I was just like, damn.
It wasn't me, y'all.
Well, it was not Gavin, right? And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, if this pod with the shade room, nobody would give a fuck. Everybody would be like, yo, that shit's so goddamn funny, right? But when you start sitting here and saying like, all right, like, how do we make ourselves better men? And part of that being better men is making better decisions in all parts of our lives. That becomes offensive. And the reason, and I think some of the reasoning behind it is because a lot of our culture right now is shaped by entertainers and athletes. It's not shaped by actual sociologists and psychologists and people who actually study nature and the environment. And I think that's intentional. I think that's by design. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, I like Killer Mike, but I didn't like that. I didn't like, because when he made that Grammy speech, I was like, damn, that sounds familiar. And then somebody had posted that clip and I was like, that's where it came from, right? A dream deferred is a dream denied. Mm-hmm. And, so again, I always look at like how people go talk to you about, yay, you might not be able to do that. But when it comes to themselves, they're like, shh, man, I can dream as big as I want.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of dreaming, my favorite part of the show.
What's coming up in the church now? This is becoming my least favorite part of the show. I want to know what the hell Gavin got planned.
Hey, man. I love a good run on the organ.
Ain't no good run, bro.
Especially we get Dwight to do it. Dwight, you do a good job, man. Dwight be playing, though. He be sometimes showing up to church, man. I'm going to start calling out people at the church, man. Dwight,
if people don't show up at the church, we're going to start calling them out on the pod.
Absolutely, man. I used to like Dwight. Used to go over there and sit down. Dwight be so nonchalant. I'm just like, I'm here.
That's my boy, man.
It's a talent given to my whole family.
It really is. So, every last one of them can play an instrument or sing. Ridiculous.
It's not fair.
Ridiculous.
Because I can't do two different things with my hands. That's how I know I won't do well in a threesome. All right, speaking. Hey man, y'all favorite boy. Here we go.
Days later, I meet C.
Oh God, what is this?
And when I walked in the room and I saw, little future, he's 9 months at the time or whatever, and he crawls in my lap, and it was like, this is going to be my responsibility. God, I remember leaving that night and God saying, God saying to me, raising this child, it's going to be your responsibility.
There we go.
God
all right, you got an answer for that, buddy.
Hey, first off, anytime somebody say God said something, that sets me off.
Welcome to the church.
That sets me off. But I'm not going to fall for this trap today. I don't have anything bad to say about Russ. I am going to say this, though. Y'all got to stop dating girls with infants, man.
Facts.
9 months old.
Oh, you taking up as the deacon of the church. First of all, I'm going to highlight this. Mike hates it when y'all put it on God, and I'm with him. To say God told you to date a woman going through postpartum.
Yeah.
She already showing you her baby.
Yeah, like you got the little baby crawling on you, and you like, yo, this is my responsibility. Your responsibility might be to reach out to the kid's father and say, hey, what happened? I like your kid's mom. I might be around. Can we have a relationship because this is your, I'm not saying I know I'm gonna say, this is your seed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is your seed.
He got your name.
Yeah, like, he got your stage name, not even your real name. He got your stage name. Like, it's so many red flags right here, but they washed all that red out of the flags. It's nothing but white flags now. Y'all can have it. Big ups to y'all. Big ups to Saint CC. She
Mother CC.
Yeah, she had a baby by a Pookie. And big ups to any man that comes in and raises another Pookie's child, man. Big ups to y'all. Not my cup of tea,
but whatever.
Big ups to y'all.
I say this to what I said to Ashley, to Daryl, to Trey, to all involved. Y'all ain't never seen me write a status about Russ. Y'all can't find an episode where me and Mike discuss Russ and being a stepdad. And I will say this, and me and Mike might see stuff differently on stepfathers. If a stepfather decides to come in and take care of a child, to me, that's the bare fucking minimum, bro. So I'm not going to celebrate the bare fucking minimum. If you decide to get with a woman and she has a child and you think that it's cool and it's commendable and it's, admirable that you are running around saying, hey, I treat this kid like my other child, slow fucking hand clap for you. Because I remember when I was at church one day and this chick, I'm still mad at her. And I would say her name, but Mike know her. She Mike age. And I remember she did not congratulate me for graduating college, but she stood up in church and congratulated a nigga for graduating high school. And I was so pissed until my mom reminded me that, hey, that kid might have overachieved. You might have hit the bare minimum. Now, my mom was lying because she still ain't fixed. Like, my mom pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? But my mom tried to shoot the chick some bail, but whatever. But yeah, I don't have nothing to say. I don't care. Look.
My whole thing is like, I'm sorry, man.
9 months though, that's
9 months.
rough.
Like, come on, man. Like 9 months. Like, yo, did you even try? Did you even give it a college attempt?
I'm looking at C like, damn, you let a nigga come around seeing your baby, your infant?
Yo, infant?
A new nigga? That's wild,
that is what it's wild to me. Not my cup of tea, but to everybody that supported, hey man,
fuck it.
Hey, big ups to y'all.
There's a spiritual party coming to Charlotte.
Spiritual party, like what?
They doing a DJ. It's gonna be
they're gonna have all the Christian music.
Yeah, the Christian party.
Hey, all the freaks gonna be out there. I might. What time is it gonna be?
I did laugh. I think it was like at 7. It's from like 7 to 10. I was laughing because somebody was like, "Yo, where the pregame at?" And now I think they were serious. I did laugh at that in the comments.
I would go to the pregame. You're right. You know, if there is a pregame, I would absolutely show up at the pregame because everybody know that all the freaks are in church.
Absolutely. On the second shut-in we have with Wendy Williams.
Hey, boy, you nailed this segment today. Kevin said the sick of the shut-in.
I came in at the end of Wendy Williams' run. She was, by the time I personally found out about Wendy Williams, Charlamagne wasn't even on there. He was like in his last stages on her show, right? Yeah. And then we knew Wendy. I know Wendy of the show. To hear older people talk about Wendy, whether she was on Hot 97, and talk about how messy and nasty and rude she was.
Wendy was rough. Wendy was a mess, and like Wendy was honestly probably about 15 years too early, because if Wendy Williams was in the podcasting blog world, like, my goodness, the trauma, because she did all this from like one radio station, bro. Yeah, and she was wreaking havoc. But I will say that, like, despite all of that, I have to give big ups to black men, especially black men, that Wendy Williams actually derided and destroyed on her radio show, that nobody is like celebrating her demise, man.
Yeah, and
everybody's kind of like, I'm not going to like, say, hey, I hope everything is well, because you did destroy a lot. I'm like, man, like, go check out. I mean, if you can find some of the old episodes on YouTube, man.
Oh, bro.
Wendy was forever talking about somebody's side chick, sexuality,
the
kids, like it was crazy. But to see, like, there's no, like, I love that about us as men, is that when we see somebody that's like really falling apart, we don't really rush to celebrate it. We kind of just be like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Before we get to the last week, I do want to say I've been watching Love is Blind. I am caught up. I do want to ask you something, because you said last week if you're going to cheat, you have to come home by what time?
Oh, you got to cheat. You got to be home by, like, honestly, like 2:30.
Fuck. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man who he sent his fiance so Love is Blind, you get strangers. They select somebody without seeing them.
Yeah.
If you do select each other, y'all both have to agree. You automatically get engaged, and then you got 3 weeks before you get married.
Okay.
All right. Total shit show. This is not. I do want to know, do these marriages count towards the divorce rate?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because, like, they're not set up to
probably
survive,
so.
Right?
Probably so.
But one of the guys, they living together. Everybody was making the jokes because they put them in an apartment complex in Pineville. And if anybody know anything about Charlotte, Pineville is like a 30-minute commute to uptown. But the dude gave his fiance his location, and he was at Lost and Found at 6 a.m, bruh.
Yeah, I think we said last week that you can't come in at 6, right? I think we said all the problems that had happened, but it was because, like, my boy showed up way too late.
Yeah, so my man was bro.
But my boy was not cheating. We was out hanging out, drinking too much.
We lost our watches.
Yeah, that happened.
But this man was at Lost and Found at 6.
Yeah, I don't think you could. If you had Lost and Found at 6, you've been locked in the building because it's closed,
bro. I saw that, and I will say this. I'm gonna say this delicately. I think it's nasty work that people are coming out saying that Netflix was promoting this show on Grindr to get people to sign up.
No way.
This was fully. I have a homeboy who showed me. And I didn't, it was funny. I mentioned to my sister and she was like, no, I know a bunch of gay boys who applied for the show. Like I
can see that because it's celebrity and being on TV. Like if you want to get into acting. So I can see that.
That's the thing. What type of games are we playing where you got heterosexual people on a dating show trying to get married and you trying to, what if? And I'm not even going to get into who was on the other side. And I'll tell you off mic, because I don't feel like bleeping. It's too much editing for me. But what if you think the other person on the side of that window is a part of a community that you're not a part of? Even if it's like, are you going to guarantee like, hey, this is the gay pod? Or this the lesbian pod?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
the bisexual pod?
I think stuff like that is costing reality shows. I think it's costing day naps. I think a lot of like, they're not approaching anymore is due in part to, fellas being like, man, it's too many hoops for me to jump through to try to figure out, am I getting what I want, right? Yeah. And then you have guys that, so let's say if Netflix was recruiting off of Grindr, and we know that Grindr is a gay app, right? And they're bringing those guys on, right? I'm assuming you're saying they're bringing those guys on to marry women, right?
That's what the presumption to me would.
Yeah. So if they're actually doing that, right, then that goes into the whole thing of like, that person is going to perform everything that woman wants, and then her perception of men becomes that performance, right? It doesn't. It's not who men actually are. Yeah. It's the performance, and I think I do think a lot of what men deal with is having to deal with the performance, not so much of guys like that, but the performance of the simps, right? Yeah. This idea is like, oh, I'm doing all I can because I left a perfect clip out for that. I'll put it in notes for next week. But it's this idea of the performance of I'm telling you everything you want to hear because I'm just trying to get the pussy. Yeah. And then once I get the pussy, then now I'm worse than the man that you turned down.
Yeah. And shout out to the middle school teacher. I knew your relationship to the white girl was over as soon as the only black girl came up to you and said, how is she gonna raise black children? Ooh. I said, that shit is cooked. I looked over at my wife, who's not black, and I said, oh, this is over. I looked over. I told come on, man.
I ain't gonna go down the show.
I can't wait for one of y'all women to bring me on y'all podcast so I can tear y'all ass up about that. But I looked at my wife, I said, that's cooked. And then I told my wife, I was like, yo, I had to ask you a couple questions. You know what I'm saying? Just real talk. Like, if we get real, when you having relations with somebody and y'all deciding to have a kid, it is important. Shit, it's important if y'all the same race because you never know.
It's one of the first things that I mentioned. It's like, hey, it's gonna be an Afro whatever, baby.
Yeah,
just making sure you understand.
Make sure you understand that. Like
Afro whatever.
But the black girl went over to him and she said, "Yo, how she's gonna raise black kids?" I looked over at my wife. I said, "This is done. He will not be with her." Despite the allegations his cousin is putting on him on the internet. Last week we I want to apologize to Atlanta. I want to apologize to Outkast. I want to apologize to Big Boy in particular. Because you was always my favorite out of Outkast. I like Big Boy. Andre 3000, you are in my top 10, I think, rappers. The lower 5, but it's cool. I want to apologize to Decatur. What's else down there? 2 Chainz, Ludacris. I want to apologize to everybody. And Future's my guy. I listen to more Future than anybody.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like, that is your dude.
But that's why I had to limit who you could include in the argument. I made it very clear. I stand by everything I say. But one thing I do need to clear up. It was never in my intentions, and it was completely wrong, especially watching it. And the joke is I text Mike. I say, y'all, I'm going to clip this, and they're going to tear my ass.
Yeah, Gavin really sacrificed himself last week. I don't do that shit. But Gavin actually did that. He put himself on the cross. And the cross, he did.
And because it does come off as disrespectful to Outkast the way I was talking. And I never wanted that to come off. Plus, I want to be able to go back to Atlanta. 85 is a big highway in this country, so I want to be able to go back. Shout out to Allure, the strip club.
And you are identifiable too. Woo. You be the fucking around and went down there. Motherfucker be like, that's that little light skinned nigga right there.
Look, they got guns down there in Georgia too. They shoot at the gas station. But nah, I still stand by what I say. 30 years, Kanye is above, and I'm here to give out my top 5.
Oh, that's what is your top 5?
Top 5 most influential hip hop.
So we're not talking about lyricists. We just saying influence, culture influence. All right.
Because if we ever did lyricists, 3 stacks in my top 5.
Yeah.
So, no particular order.
But the comment section was convoluting a lot of shit. Because I was just like, damn, did I say the South? I said Atlanta.
You did. They started thinking we was talking about our top 5 artists. They thought you were, you was talking about commercially. We have a comprehension problem.
We really
in this country.
The internet has thrown all of us together.
Yo, back in the day, they would put the smart kids in one class, the on path kids with another class, people that need a little bit more help on one class, and then the people who needed a lot of help was in the trailers eating ramen. And what ended up happening is they gave us the internet at the same time,
and they threw us all together. And we would do well to remember that. Absolutely.
And so my top 5, I'm gonna go through this quick, no particular order. Dr. Dre.
Okay. Influence, I can get it.
Puff Daddy. Jay-Z.
You know why.
Absolutely. Ye, and I'm giving Lil Wayne. And then next, I have no problem with putting Outkast.
Oh man, I didn't think of like my top 5 influence.
Yeah, I didn't tell you.
I would agree. Dre, I definitely think he made West Coast move to a different level. Like move to a different level. I'm not saying that the West Coast, because y'all
I love the West.
Did not say that the West Coast did not exist before Dre. Jay-Z, Jay-Z reinvented himself at least twice
with the help of Kanye.
Yeah, with the help of Kanye. I would give Kanye as a top 5 influential person.
Look, man,
I would do that. I would do that. But the Dungeon family, right? The South changing music and hip hop. Mm-hmm. Like if the South does not emerge, like we would have had hip hop. I mean, obviously we'd have hip hop, but I don't think it would have been as good as it was. Like the run that hip hop had, right? That was because the South came in. Whether it was the Memphis drums, the slowing in Houston. The Atlanta swag, which was like a country boy swag.
The raunchiness of Miami.
Yeah, the raunchiness of Miami. Like that took hip hop to levels where it could be creative. So like, up until that point, I don't think that was happening.
And it wasn't. And I love everybody who were trying to prove to us. Some of y'all was help proving our point. Like when y'all was coming to Mike and naming out artists, like this person was rapping before Andre 3000. I'm like, damn, that artist is so small. He is trying to say, hey, these artists took it global.
Yeah, I love Mr. Big. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Mr. Big was topping the chart.
Bro,
he was topping the chart in the metro.
Comprehension was.
He wasn't topping the chart across the country. So it's like, a lot of those guys are my favorite artists. Scarface. In my high school, I don't think any rap group was big in the Scar. I was like one of the few Outkast fans. Because remember, they hit the ground running at the same time, and you had like a lot of underground mixtapes and things. So you would know about people before they would actually hit the scene, right?
Absolutely.
Like even like with The Source, like they'd have unsigned hype, and like those were all the artists that in your region you knew who those guys were already. Like Luda, we knew who Luda was way before he ever went commercial.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I think sometime after 2 decades, we kind of, a lot of us just don't remember everything, and I think that becomes a problem. And I have to remind myself, because sometimes I do get annoyed, because I'm like, I didn't say that. But I do have to remind myself that the internet has thrown us all together, and people do have a comprehension problem, and it's not personally at me.
It ain't, man. Last week I got a packet in the mail that was smaller than my wallet. Didn't know what it was, but I saw Yeezy on the From address. And I opened it, and it's the tank top I bought for my wife. And I remember taking it out, and my wife looked at it and said, I can't get in that.
What size did you order?
I ordered her a medium.
All right,
I didn't even get her the small.
So you ordered the appropriate size. Not saying that you're a medium, Rena, if you're still here at this part of the pod.
My girl lost too much weight.
Yeah, but so you ordered the right size, and it was still.
Mike,
is it what is Ye doing here, man?
He wants us to dress like his wife. I mean, here's the joke for me. I looked at it on. They didn't give sizes. They gave numbers.
Yeah.
Right. And then they told you what the model size were.
Yeah.
So the model breast size was bigger than my wife. The model weighed more than my wife, and she was taller than my wife. So I said, I'm gonna get a medium just to see.
Yeah.
Because she was wearing a medium. Man, that shit came in. First of all, I'm giving Kanye this. The shit fit. It fit like a glove. Like a glove. It stretched to her body, and that shit fit. It is completely see-through. But it does say wet across the tank.
Yeah.
So I told my wife, I said, yo, you can't wear this nowhere.
Like, she can't wear it nowhere but the house. But how does it look though? Like aesthetically, do you like it?
Oh yeah. Now that shit right.
All right, I need
get a couple.
I need to get a couple
$20.
Yeah, I need to get a couple.
Yeah, pass them shits out. Kanye, you need to give us the brand, or you need to customize them shits. It was cool.
I got a thicky. Like they got some thicky ones.
Oh yeah. You good? You'll make it. You
got a thicky, and then I got.
You gonna be like,
small.
yo. I told her last night, I'm like, yo, go put that shit on. Kanye got a point, man. We just don't have to see it, but I get it. I get what he doing, man. Quickly in sports, Richard Sherman just caught a DUI. I will say this. I think this is undisputed way of getting him off the show.
Ooh.
Prayers for him. Him and Skip been getting into it the last couple months anyway. Plus it's basketball season, so they really don't need him. I am getting a joy out of watching Keyshawn and Michael Irvin talk about basketball. They tore Shannon up a couple days ago about him talking about Kyrie not having a post game and Luka not playing in the post. They tore him up on that. But I think it's interesting. My question to you, Johnny Manziel went on Shannon Sharp. Good interview, by the way. And I'm going to say this is good. Johnny Manziel's doc was cool, but you could tell he still was fighting demons.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch this interview, and he seems
clean.
Such clear space.
Yeah.
He said that he could have got $10 million in an NIL.
Absolutely.
Who do you think would have got more? Who you think would have got the most money in NIL? Because you follow college sports more than me.
The two guys who have made the most money in NIL is Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel.
Really?
Yeah. When you have,
especially Tim Tebow.
When you have like a white quarterback in a black dominated sport, being athletic, yeah, bro, like you gonna sell more than that. That's the allure, man. Because it's always that competition that's always going on. Blacks couldn't be quarterbacks for the longest, right? And then when blacks start becoming quarterback, you start seeing, could white quarterbacks play that style?
Yeah. So,
Steve Young was kind of like the first person that we really remember playing like this athletic style. Johnny Unitas, I think, if you go way, way back, but I wasn't alive for that. I wasn't watching Johnny Unitas.
That shit was in gray.
Yeah. But you got Steve Young. So Johnny Manziel, dude, he made money while he was there. Everybody knew Johnny was getting paid while he was there.
Everybody.
So Johnny definitely would have been the highest paid. And I'm for these boys getting paid, man. I'm for NIL.
I thought you would have said Reggie, but I mean,
no.
Tebow would have made more than Reggie.
He would have made more. Reggie would have got paid, and they definitely did Reggie wrong. Yeah. Oh, Matt Lionheart, goodness, that curly hair, California
in
dude.
Cali.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't on something like this, I don't think it's as racial as it looks on the surface. It's just that, I think in urban areas we forget how many white people are in this country.
Oh, facts.
Right? They're 65% of the population.
Yeah.
So when they it's a reason why sometimes they just get paid out the wazoo. It's just because everybody sees someone that looks like them, and then that's what they do. So Matt Lionheart, Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel.
Tim Tebow would have got a church.
Yeah, Tim Tebow, goodness boy. Tim Tebow, they probably would have had to mess up college football because they probably tried to get him through the $100 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Joel Osteen would have had to write him a check.
Yeah, they probably gave him like $100 million 10-year contract. Tim Tebow.
He would have killed that. Horace Grant, Luke Longley, and Scottie Pippen is on tour right now, and they want to talk about the truth.
I have not heard. I've seen that they're on tour. I have not heard from them yet, so I don't know.
Do you want to hear from them though?
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I want to hear from them, but it can't be muddy. I either need y'all to confirm everything Mike said, or I need y'all to disagree with everything Mike said.
Okay.
Don't walk the fence on this shit.
Okay.
Right? Don't walk the fence and be like, well, Jordan said something. Like, no. Tell me either he told the truth or he was lying.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of want to hear from it. I don't want to hear from. Maybe not. I want Scotty to do an interview and just tell the truth, because you've been playing games. Yeah. And you go back and forth because you know that your career is so tied to Mike. Like, you get on there and you say, hey, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player ever. And then 2 weeks later, y'all misconstrued what I said. And it's like, bro, no, we did. Horace Grant's been kicking Michael Jordan's back in for years. So I expect that. Luke Longley, I mean, whatever, man. That was mean to him.
I mean, and I get some of the, I don't want to. I would go say animals, but I think that's too strong of a word.
Yeah,
I get some of the. I think it's envy, right?
Yeah.
Because imagine working with a dude every day. Shit, us, right? Imagine we work together every day. The pod takes off, and one of us become a billionaire, and the other one is just
still recording.
Or still recording, right? Like. Could one of us say that we wouldn't feel envy? Now, I think we're closer than any of those guys ever.
Absolutely.
Were. But
them niggas don't even know each other.
But if we didn't really know each other like that, right? Like, would you not look over there and be like, yo, this dude did the same thing I did.
Yeah.
How is he a billionaire?
Look out for me.
Yeah.
You right.
There might be, and I think that's the Dame Jay-Z thing, right?
Yo, Dame. Ho try to help you out, but whatever, man.
They do not like each other.
Not at all. Hold on, here go your boy. He stayed with some.
To retire? Yes. Accept it. Enjoy your family, brother. Thank you. I made a lot of dumb mistakes to where I lost my family and I didn't have anybody. That's not the case for you. So enjoy your beautiful wife, enjoy your beautiful kids, and never dwell on what we had. What we had is what we got. You got the ring. People know who you are. Enjoy it. Because again, I was an idiot, and I've talked about it for a long time. Lost my whole family. Spent 100,000 square foot house by myself, and that's when I got. But again, the way I was raised, yeah.
What the fuck is he talking about right here, man?
Jason Kelce been with the Eagles the whole time?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then. So did he get 1 or 2 rings? Just one, right?
No, I think he got 2. I think he got 2 rings.
Okay.
I think he got the ring with the backup quarterback against New England. Name's slipping my mind right now.
Man, he always win too.
Nick Foles. Yeah. I think he got the ring with Nick Foles. But I threw this in here because, bruh, please, if I'm ever sitting here on a live show and it's me and you talking, man, please don't ever sit here. This is like me sitting here and being like, yeah, Gavin, don't fuck around with your wife on a live show. Like, what are you talking about, Shaq?
I love Shaq. Shaq is probably in my top 5 favorite players of all time. He's in my top 5 of all time, but he's probably in my favorite, talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Shaq, how do I say this the nice way? Shaq be lying.
Yeah,
he be bullshitting. I don't, whether it's his relationship with Kobe that he just retold and, repurposed to us, whether it's that, you remember watching the documentary with him and Penny, and it was like, Shaq just took no accountability.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
He shitted on Penny, and then when they talking about it 20 years later, he's like, oh, yeah, I should have. It's like, whatever, man. Yeah. It's super interesting. One of my favorite as in hated moments of Shaq is when Dwayne Wade wins MVP. And Shaq tries to take the trophy from David Stern to give to Wade. And it's like, bro, why is it always about you?
Yeah.
But I love Shaq, man. But that is weird. I do think it, sometimes what I try to do, whether it's people I've hurt, whether that's family members, whether it's my wife, and I'm trying to tell stories, even though me and that person might be over it, I try not to open up wounds when I'm trying to pat myself on the back.
Yeah. And also, we talk about the Instagram pastor with this all the time too.
Shout out.
Don't assume that another man's weakness is your weakness. I mean, your weakness is another man's weakness. Like, stop doing that shit, man. Just because you can't stop fucking around with your wife, don't be out here telling women men fuck around. Like, just like, yo, no, that's you, nigga. that ain't me. That's you.
That is true. Let me ask you this: you getting the Air Trumps?
Hey, man. Dude, the fact that they were just like, yo, black people gonna like this. Yo, I saw some of the comments. It's so true. They threw the red bottoms on for y'all N-words. They threw the red because they thought like, yo, the gold, the red, basketball shoes, they're gonna buy it. Hey man, to the Republican Party,
y'all better figure it out.
Yo, no, hire me as a consultant.
Please.
Like, just hire me as a consultant. Because the black people that y'all think, if y'all think that we listen to.
They got Charlemagne. They don't need another South Carolina.
Again, the black people that y'all think that we listen to are not the black people that we listen to. The things that y'all think that we like are not the things that black people like, man. Stop. Like, they're getting over on y'all. Hire me. Put me on a retainer. I can get you way more votes than
Charlemagne. Come on,
than the shoes and like, oh, we're gonna run Tim Scott. I forget the other guy's name. We don't listen to those black people, man.
Bruh, my favorite part is 3 episodes ago we talked about if the Republican Party is hiring Charlemagne to like just shit on Democrats. And you was like, I don't know. And you was like, probably, but we won't know until time tell. And then these interviews come out with Charlemagne. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing? And then when that video comes out with the Air Trumps and Fox News does that, he tries to shit on Republicans. It's like, bro, you been pussyfooting with him, man.
Like, nah, man. Like y'all hire an actual black person to consult y'all, and you would get more black votes.
Absolutely.
But lastly, we played the Charles Blow clip last week, didn't we? Or 2 weeks ago.
I think so, yeah.
Where he was blaming black
men.
Yeah. But lastly, like, yo, we're not your problem. Like, get black man name out your mouth.
Yeah, we really not.
We're not your problem, right? There's somebody else that's voting for Trump that causes y'all a problem. I'll give you a little hint. They're female and they're blonde. It's not us.
Can't call them females no more, man. They like to be called women.
Women, ladies, whatever y'all want. I would call y'all whatever y'all want.
Hey, man. What you got planned this weekend?
Not much, man. I got the kid this weekend.
Oh, there you go, man. I swear.
Carisha, I had to start reading those tweets. Carisha, hey, sweetie, chill. You looking good in some of your photos, though, but you need to chill.
You gotta chill. And DJ Academics, bullying
he needs to chill his goddamn self.
Bullying a black woman never ages well.
It never ages. You're right. It never ages well. And DJ Ack is always like a millisecond away from disaster his damn self.
Yeah, and then it's like, bro, but I get it. She came for you. She went hard at you. She had a whole community of people on you.
Yeah, but you can never, to your point, it's never going to age well.
It's never.
Going in on women in general.
Yeah.
So it don't age well. Even if they're wrong, it just don't age as well.
Look, man, I ain't doing nothing this weekend. Well, I'm being in Columbia, so if y'all catch me in Columbia, I'm be at a baby shower. Come up and speak. We can take a picture for the pod. And then I'm taking headshots of some people on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, man.
We got to get our, Gabby can tell we got to get our photographs done so we get our press kits.
Hey, man.
Hey, let them hold me accountable, man.
Look, please. And with that, hold on, let me play my song. Y'all lucky I can't find it, man. Yo, that is the funniest clip ever.
That shit is funny.
It is funny. And with that, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.